It's a scenario few anticipate and even fewer understand. Despite eating a minuscule 400 calories per day, weight gain occurs. For those hoping for rapid results on the scale, it's a bewildering experience. With each passing week, they witness the reverse of what they intended, an upward trend in weight rather than a downward one. Such experiences raise important questions about the effects of extreme caloric restriction on the human body and highlight the profound impact of metabolic adaptation. The phenomenon, known as metabolic adaptation or adaptive thermogenesis, sheds light on the body's ability to conserve energy in response to severe caloric restriction. The body, when deprived of its usual intake, shifts gears, slowing down essential metabolic processes to preserve what little energy it has. This adaptive mechanism, although advantageous in times of famine, poses a dilemma in today's context of deliberate dieting. For those who've engaged in multiple cycles of restrictive eating, this adaptation becomes even more pronounced, with the body becoming highly efficient at maintaining or even increasing weight despite minimal calorie intake. To fully grasp why this happens, it's essential to understand the underlying physiology. The body's primary concern is survival, and in response to a dramatic reduction in calories, it behaves as though food is scarce and famine is imminent. This evolutionary response has helped humans survive through historical periods of food scarcity, enabling the body to maintain energy for crucial functions. While this is beneficial in life-or-death situations, it becomes problematic in the context of dieting. When caloric intake plummets to levels as low as 400 calories, the body instinctively reduces its energy expenditure in several ways. First, there's a reduction in basal metabolic rate, BMR, the energy the body requires to sustain basic functions like breathing, blood circulation, and cell production. As caloric intake falls, the body seeks to conserve energy by slowing down these processes. This reduction can be significant, with the BMR decreasing to match the drastically low intake, enabling the body to make do with fewer calories. Another way the body conserves energy is by reducing NEAT, or non-exercise activity, thermogenesis. NEAT encompasses the energy spent on everyday movements that aren't deliberate exercise, such as walking, fidgeting, and other subtle forms of activity. In a state of caloric deprivation, the body instinctively curtails these movements. Someone on a severely low-calorie diet may find themselves moving less or feeling more lethargic without realizing it. This decrease in spontaneous movement further contributes to energy conservation. In addition to BMR and NEAT, thermic effect of food, TEF, also plays a role. TEF represents the energy required to digest, absorb, and metabolize food, which drops when there's simply less food to process. Collectively, these reductions mean that the body's daily energy expenditure decreases sharply, making it far more difficult to lose weight, even when consuming very few calories. For individuals who have followed low-calorie diets more than once, the impact of metabolic adaptation is likely even more pronounced. Each time the body is subjected to extreme caloric restriction, it adapts more quickly to conserve energy, becoming better at holding on to weight. Over time, the body becomes more efficient, slowing down its energy expenditure even faster with each diet. This cyclical effect creates what's known as weight loss resistance, where the body's adaptive mechanisms make it exceedingly difficult to lose weight in subsequent dieting attempts. Another consequence of this adaptation is a heightened tendency to store fat. When the body perceives that it is chronically deprived of energy, it goes into a conservation mode, seeking to store as much energy as possible. Stored as fat, these energy reserves become a safeguard against perceived future shortages. Thus, while an individual may be consuming fewer calories, their body may still store those calories as fat in an attempt to protect against starvation. This effect can be deeply frustrating, as it defies conventional wisdom about calories in, calories out, and makes the weight gain appear inexplicable. Metabolic adaptation does not operate in isolation. The psychological stress of extreme dieting can exacerbate the body's physiological response, leading to even greater challenges. When individuals experience the frustration of weight gain despite intense restriction, stress hormones like cortisol rise. Elevated cortisol can further encourage the body to retain fat, especially around the abdominal area, as part of its fight-or-flight mechanism. This combination of physical and psychological stress can make weight loss feel impossible and can add to feelings of defeat and confusion. Adding to the complexity is the impact of severe caloric restriction on mental well-being. People on low-calorie diets often experience heightened irritability, fatigue, and a preoccupation with food, all of which create additional stress and can worsen the physiological response. The vicious cycle of stress, metabolic adaptation, and psychological strain becomes a formidable barrier to sustainable weight loss. Given this adaptive response, the natural reaction might be to cut calories even further or increase exercise to counteract the body's resistance. However, such approaches are counterproductive and can intensify metabolic adaptation, leading to even more rapid fat storage and a worsened metabolic profile. At such low caloric levels, the body enters a state of energy crisis, and additional restrictions will only signal to it that food is even scarcer. Furthermore, with each reduction, the body's hormonal profile shifts in ways that encourage energy conservation. Key hormones that regulate hunger, such as leptin and ghrelin, are impacted by caloric restriction. Leptin, a hormone that signals satiety, drops in response to dieting, making it harder to feel full. Ghrelin, the hunger hormone, often increases, leading to intense cravings and a preoccupation with food. Together, these hormonal changes make sustaining a low-calorie diet nearly impossible in the long term and increase the likelihood of rebound weight gain. To counteract the effects of metabolic adaptation, the first priority is to restore metabolic health. This process requires a gradual increase in calorie intake, a practice known as reverse dieting. Reverse dieting aims to bring caloric intake back up to a maintenance level, allowing the body to stabilize and reset its metabolic processes. During this phase, it's essential to focus on nutrient-dense foods that provide adequate protein, fiber, and healthy fats. Protein, in particular, supports lean muscle mass, which is critical for a healthy metabolism, as muscle tissue burns more calories than fat. Including fiber-rich foods like vegetables, fruits, and whole grains helps with satiety, reducing the temptation to overeat. Another key aspect of metabolic recovery is resistance training. Unlike cardio, which primarily burns calories during the activity, resistance training builds muscle mass that contributes to higher caloric expenditure even at rest. By incorporating strength-based workouts, individuals can improve their basal metabolic rate over time, making it easier to achieve sustainable weight loss once caloric intake is adjusted. Monitoring progress during this phase requires patience. Weight may initially increase slightly as the body adjusts to a higher intake, but this is a temporary and necessary step to restore metabolic balance. Over time, as the body adapts to a healthier calorie level, the likelihood of losing weight in a sustainable manner increases. Once metabolic balance is restored, a more moderate caloric deficit can be introduced. Rather than slashing calories drastically, a small reduction of about 5 to 10% from the maintenance level can encourage steady, sustainable weight loss without triggering the body's adaptive responses. Importantly, this deficit should prioritize a balance of macronutrients, with an emphasis on maintaining protein intake to support muscle mass and satiety. The key to long-term success lies in gradual adjustments rather than extreme changes. When the body is given time to adapt to smaller caloric reductions, it is less likely to engage in drastic conservation responses. This approach aligns with the body's natural rhythms, reducing the risk of metabolic adaptation and supporting a more sustainable weight loss journey. In the journey to sustainable weight loss, it's essential to recognize that the scale is just one measure of progress. Factors such as energy levels, mental clarity, and improvements in body composition often provide a more accurate picture of health than weight alone. By focusing on these indicators, individuals can maintain motivation and avoid the pitfalls of yo-yo dieting. Improved sleep, stable mood, and a balanced appetite are all positive signs that the body is responding well to a healthier, more sustainable approach. Tracking non-scale victories like muscle tone, increased stamina, and overall well-being can provide valuable insights and reinforce the benefits of a balanced approach. The experience of gaining weight on a low-calorie diet highlights the body's remarkable ability to adapt in response to perceived threats. While such adaptations are protective in nature, they underscore the importance of a balanced approach to dieting and health. By understanding the role of metabolic adaptation, individuals can make informed choices that prioritize long-term well-being over short-term, drastic results. The path forward involves listening to the body's needs and working with its natural rhythms rather than against them. Sustainable weight loss is not a race. It's a journey of gradual adjustments that support overall health and vitality. Through mindful, science-backed approaches, it's possible to achieve a healthier body and mind, one that doesn't just reach a desired weight, but maintains it with resilience and balance. Thanks for tuning in. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more insights on health, fitness, and sustainable wellness. Remember, the journey to a healthier body isn't about quick fixes or extreme diets. It's about understanding how our bodies work and making informed choices that support long-term health. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so you'll be notified of our latest videos. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.